Hey, what's going on, guys? For this weekend's MOOC review, we're actually taking a look at a magazine, not a MOOC, a proper magazine. This is Model Graphix. This is going back to 2002. This is actually the July issue from 2002 with a special feature on the 30 Minutes Sisters line, which I thought would be cool to take a look at. As usual with a monthly publication like this, a lot of what we're going to see in here is a lot of advertising for new model kits and things that were coming out at that time, but there should be some pretty interesting stuff in here. I know aside from the 30 Minutes missions, there's going to be some cool Patlabor modeling, some tips, and probably some Gunpla in here as well, I would assume. So let's go ahead and get into it here for today's video. All right, so like I said, this is the July 2022 issue. Planes, tanks, ships, cars, bots, figures, and more here in Model Graphix. This is the 30 Minute Sisters Perfect Style book. We've taken a look at a number of different 30 Minute Sisters like dedicated MOOCs. This one's going to have some 30 Minute Sisters stuff in there, and then of course, like I said, a lot of other things. So here on the back, like an advertisement for some different Hasegawa products here, it looks like. But we can also see the MSRP here for this issue at 850 yen, so about like $7, something like that, which is pretty nice for a monthly magazine. As you can see here, this goes to about 150 some odd pages there. The last couple pages aren't numbered, so pretty good. All right here on the inside cover, some Space Battleship Yamato stuff there, and our table of contents where you can see there's going to be a bunch of 30 Minute Sister stuff in there and some other things as well. So here is right off the bat, it looks like our 30 Minute Sisters special feature, and it's going to start off with just kind of an introduction here, it looks like, to the line, what is 30 Minute Sisters, and we can see a lot of nice photography there. A lot of the option parts says looks like the hair parts that's kind of featured there in the background. Right here you have a big feature all about the Alka Karti release, which I would assume would be the latest release or the newest release probably at the time of this publication. This being the July issue of 2022, that means that this issue probably actually came out at the end of May. It's usually about 5 weeks before the actual month begins that the issue comes out. So yeah, it has been a little while since this kit came out, but definitely one of the nicest ones in the line still. I think it's a really nice one, but I mean, a lot of the releases are very nice. So it's a whole kind of feature here about then customizing by kit bashing. It looks like using some of these different hairstyle parts and different part sets to make your own custom builds. So you got kind of an interesting layout here for this section of the article. It's pretty cool. The custom weapon here as well. More customization here with some different parts. So just kind of showing customizing a Tiasha with some different hairstyle parts and customized parts with the girl gun lady sets here as well for some like different clothing there that you can see on those. So it seems like mostly so far the article is just kind of about how easily it is to kit bash and customize the 30 Minute Sisters line, which yeah, we're all pretty well aware of, especially further on down the line. I mean, 2022, the line was still relatively new at that time. Not that new, but it's definitely been around. It's definitely pretty solidified now. Here we have some more kit bashing with Rishetta and the Esposito, which again I think was a fairly recent release at the time of this publication. So here we have just some more customization here, again mixing body parts, hair parts, and other different option parts here to make some cool custom builds. So if nothing else, it's definitely a nice showcase of some different custom kit bashes here with the line. It's kind of, is it right to call them kit bashes if these are like the parts that they're kind of meant to go with? I mean, it's just kind of putting them together in a different way. Custom builds, I guess we can say, not necessarily kit bashing, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it make sense to call this kit bashing? I mean, I guess it is. It's mixing parts. It's mixing, which is like the Japanese word for it, and it certainly is that, I guess. Anyway, it just looks like a bit about the development there at Bandai. So we can see some other different Bandai models going from RG, MG, P Bandai MG, the Figurized Labo line, which is a line that I really wish that Bandai would continue. I really enjoyed the Figurized Labo releases and hope that they will make some more in the future. It's a lot of great characters that I think that they could make in that line, but just looks like a bit here about just some development, sort of like an interview setup there with some Bandai folks talking about that. A whole bunch of very interesting information there, I'm sure. So we've got that whole big article there. It is obviously all this section all in black and white, and that's how it's going to be in these monthly publications. Model Graphix in particular, I think, has a pretty good mix of black and white and also like full color pages, whereas some of the other ones, Dengeki Hobby or something, which actually is not around anymore, but Hobby Japan has mostly color all through it. It's more expensive, of course, but it's nice that it has mostly color, less of just the black and white pages. But Here you got some actual, like, more heavily customized, just in the fact that these are painted and decaled and everything, decaled with the 30 minutes missions decals, it looks like on here. So this looks like a pretty cool kind of bunny themed custom build that we have here, which actually looks a lot like one of the other ones that we saw earlier, just now a painted version of that. Yeah, if we see this one here, which is very much like tiger themed just by the coloring of it. I mean, it has the bunny ears, but the colors and like the striping definitely looks very tigerish, but then obviously painted here in these bunny colors, the pink and white, really kind of leans more into the bunny aspect of the design rather than having the orange and black tiger striping on it. But anyway, a really cool custom build here, really nice of that 30 Minutes Sisters kit. Very cool. Got a few more photos here on the next page, some more text about that. Some more custom builds over here. This is kit bashing with some more of the 30 Minutes missions parts as well as like this one. I think it's pretty much all mostly actual 30 Minutes Sisters parts. This one is now also mixing in with some 30 Minutes missions as well. So kind of interesting, the breakdown that we have here, showing the breakdown of all of exactly, specifically all the parts that were used from these different kits. So like from these different sets, it shows you exactly even the part numbers for everything that was used. So that's pretty wild, but definitely a really cool custom build here as well with that like matte black and what looks to be like either a metallic or a high gloss red. It looks like a kind of metallic red, isn't it? That's kind of cool. Nice mix there. Here, once again, we have a layout of all of the parts that were used. Very interesting. And it just kind of shows you where all those are as well on the kit, so you can recognize, like identify everything. Pretty interesting. Kind of really takes all the guesswork out of it for you, which is nice. So that's cool. And we have a custom Rashetta here, which looks like it may be one of our last ones. We've had quite a few so far. I think we're probably coming to the end of our featured segment here, but this really nice looking custom build here of Rashetta with this 30 Minutes Missions custom weapon there, the gun, and the sword from one of the weapon sets there. Looks like an alternate body set here for this one too. And it looks like a custom painted face as well. Definitely one of the more difficult things to do, but here it just kind of shows you the steps, drawing the eyes. I guess this is maybe checking it with the hair parts attached, because you know, once you have the hair parts attached onto there, you might realize, oh, one of the eyes is kind of a little bit crooked, or maybe they're a little bit too far apart, too close together or something. So you're checking it, starting to fill in the colors, filling back in the lines, masking and spraying some of the white on there, and finishing off some of the details here, it looks like, to get that finished custom painted face on it. Very cool. So here's the last of those steps, adding the last kind of little details, the little white dots, and shading there, shading or blush kind of on the cheeks, and a few more other work in progress and detail images here. Just very nice to see for, yeah, a really nice, cool custom build there. Okay, here we've got an advertisement for a different MOOC here, which we did take a look at. So I believe, I know I have this one. I believe we've taken a look at this one already here. That's a MOOC on how to paint, like how to model figures, basically resin character figures. So I believe we've taken a look at that. If not, then we will. If we have, then you can check it out. In the playlist on my channel, there is a MOOC review playlist where all of these videos go. So it's more advertisement here for the Gal Modeler book. That's that book right there. We've got some advertisements here, looks like, for some different modeling room supplies or more. So it looks like this is actually related to, very similar to the MOOC about the modeler's room style, which we've taken a look at a couple of those as well. So you can see it has that same illustration and then showing about kind of like what everything is all inside the modeler's room there. Next one here is about painting with Gaia Notes. Here we've got Gaia Notes' son, the like kind of wrestling mascot character there, and it is a whole interview section here once again. So a lot of really very interesting interviews here, I'm sure. Some more like military modeling stuff about that, famous airplanes of the world, and some other different supplies there. We've got a submarine. So yeah, much more than just sci-fi and mecha modeling in here. We do have plenty of traditional modeling in here as well. There's some other different stuff that's going on. It looks like kind of current events and releases, some of their different book advertisements, and then we're back to another color page section here for some tips and tricks. Let's try Beginners 3rd Season. So this is giving you some tips, I guess, about how to custom modify your Age 1 normal. It's kind of a step-by-step guide on some forearm modification there for the Age 1 normal. Very cool. And then we do have some Gunpla in here, which I'm very happy to see is actually some Advanced Zeta Barzam with gigantic arm unit, looking very awesome here from the AOZ Reboot series. This is using the HG kit and the gigantic arms unit, which was not released at the time, I don't believe. So was it? Maybe it was. Maybe it had just released at that time, I guess. So here it is. Wow, that's been out for that long, that gigantic arms unit? Wow, okay, all right. So it's a mix of a couple of P Bandai Advanced Zeta HG releases here, and there we can see it did, like previously before that set was available, you had to use the arms from the HG Psycho Gundam. Now that that set's been out, I wonder if the sales have dropped for the HGUC Psycho Gundam, because fewer people buying it just for the arms. I would be kind of interested to know if the sales of that have dropped since the release of the big arms unit there as a P Bandai item. But I don't know. But this build certainly looks awesome here. The Barzam looking very cool. The AOZ Reboot version of that with all of that added equipment on there. Certainly looks very cool. The colors on it and the markings, everything really awesome. Cool to see some of these nice detail images over here as well. We got a bunch of text here about this as well, and this is a custom weapon here for that, so I'm not really sure what the origin of that weapon is. Everything else is like just taken from different HG kits available, as far as I know. The weapon though is different. Well, I guess it's basically like a combination of the Barzam's beam rifle and the blade rifle parts, like from the Primrose set, or really any of the different AOZ sets that come with those blade rifle parts. So I guess that's what it is. It's just kind of a kit bash of those parts there, but it's pretty awesome. Definitely very cool. Next up here, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do have some Patlabor in here as well, which I believe, yeah, this is part of the... Well, no, I thought this was one of the Model releases. Actually, this is the Aoshima kit. So this one is the Aoshima AV98 Ingram here that we can see. Very interesting. Okay, these lighting effects I'm guessing is maybe added in afterwards, it looks like, or something added in post. I'm not sure if it has lighting gimmicks built into it or if it's something that was custom modified into it, but it's just kind of the way it looks. I don't know if that's actually real or just added, like photoshopped in sort of, but the model itself looks very cool. The joint cover is definitely very different. I'm not sure, again, I'm not really familiar with the model, so I don't know what the joint covers that look like that come with the kit. But these are pretty interesting. This is 1/43rd scale. This is certainly a very unique scale. I don't think I've ever seen anything in 1/43rd scale. But there you go. All right. Very interesting. Yeah, I've not built this kit, and I don't know if I've ever really even seen it too much either. I've seen the Modoroid kits, I've seen the Bandai kits, and I don't know what else. Are there more? There's other ones probably too, I'm sure. But if you guys have experience with this kit, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. What did you think about it? I've built a couple of Patlabor kits. I don't have much experience with the series, to be honest. There's a couple of model kits coming out in the Artpla line that I'm looking forward to checking out. Those are more like statue model kits, as in they're not like articulated and everything else coming with accessories and all that. It's basically just like a statue. Those ones I'm looking forward to checking out. But yeah, this one looks pretty interesting. Some custom modification on the vehicle there as well. And I guess this may be another upcoming release, again, at the time. All right, we've got some more, well, Mecha Musume, not Mecha Musume, just Musume model kits here with the Sosai Shoujo Teien line from Kotobukiya. This would be Koyomi Takanashi from that line here in her summer school uniform. Custom painted build here. Looks very nice. You can see there's like a little bit of like metallic sparkle in the hair, which is kind of nice. It doesn't like make the hair look like it's metal or metallic. It just gives it like a little bit of sparkle, like you would naturally see hair, like especially in the sunlight. Has a little bit of like a shine to it, right? So it's a nice touch there added on that. Otherwise, I mean, everything else also very beautifully painted. Kit here, even the glasses are really nicely painted. A couple of different color versions of the glasses. You got red glasses, black glasses, and then those kind of what's that called, where it's like brown and yellow kind of mixed. I don't want to say camouflage, but like that kind of brown glasses. There's a certain name for that, I can't remember. Also featuring the Tamiya Weathering Master set here for doing some of the kind of shading, blush, highlighting there on the kit with those. Alright, this one, the Mobile Movementus. This is a kit that I did build and review at the time, the Mobile Movementus Orca. I really enjoyed this kit, very unique, certainly one that I would love to take some time to actually paint up like this. The kit looks beautiful here, all painted up in a little bit different, a little custom color scheme in that it has purple for the head. I think most of the other colors look basically kind of what they're supposed to be. The most notable like customization when it comes to the color seems to be like the purple part for like the helmet or hair or whatever. But I mean, the kit looks great when it's all painted out of the box. It looks good, but it's one, I mean, I could definitely see the potential in it, which is why I was really quite looking forward to painting it up, and I am still someday, but I've shelved it for the time being. I was keeping it out for a while and hoping to get some time to paint it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, so I had to put it away for the time being, but it is one I'm looking forward to going back and painting sometime in the future, and this definitely makes me want to do that. But it's a really cool kit. Definitely check it out if you guys get a chance. Hopefully they'll make some more of those sometime in the future. There's some more detailed images there of that. Yeah, very cool. All right, so it looks like this is from a kind of, is there gonna be a whole section here about this? Shizuoka Habisho? A little bit, it looks like. Some at least. This is from the Shizuoka Habisho. Looks like a highlight of some new model kits that are coming out at the time. A lot of these have now come out now. Interestingly, remember this is from the middle of 2002. This kit here, the Aoshima VFG, the Variable Fighters Girl kit that we can see here, like just came out. And yeah, interesting. Some of these here from Kotobukiya and Good Smile Company. Some interesting model kits there. A bunch more model kits here, which from Mercury stuff from Bandai. Not a whole lot of like focus on Bandai stuff. Speaking of Artpla, here's a couple of Artpla releases down here. Some vehicle models there, tanks, planes, some more model kits. And that's kind of about it for the Shizuoka Habisho coverage. So I'm guessing this is just kind of, that probably wasn't the main feature. Probably the month before this, they had a lot more because, well, I guess, I don't know. Like I said, this issue probably came out at the end of May. The Shizuoka Habisho is usually at the beginning of May. So that means the previous issue would have come out at the end of April. So they wouldn't have had anything in there at the time because the Habisho hadn't happened yet. So I don't know. Anyway, here's a little bit about the Limex Gunpla-kun model kit that we now have had out for a little while. A little kind of mini comic strip here with the Astray, looks like gold frame Amatsumina, I believe there. Part separator, a Bandai part separator, their plastic one. Here's all the Gunpla. It was just waiting on the next page for us. So we've got a whole bunch more Gunpla here, some P Bandai stuff, some of these standard releases that were coming out at the time. There's also some 30 minutes mission stuff in here as well. We've got some Pokeblock Quick, the HG Super Robot Wars, got some Kyokai Senki, and a lot of cool stuff there. So yeah, this is also Artpla, the Laid Back Camp Artpla set. I believe those are 1/24 scale. Yep, for the scaling for those. And some other different stuff. So this seems like we're getting into just kind of the advertisements for upcoming products now. So some Sea Destiny custom colors that were coming out from Mr. Hobby in the Mr. Hobby paint line. There it looks like some Little Armory weapon sets there, or a new Little Armory weapon set. The Brutish Dog kit there from Wave, amongst other things. I'm just pointing out some of the stuff that's recognizable to me. Some of the stuff I don't really know as much about. Some Hasegawa model kits here. That model kit is another one that I did build and did have that all ready to paint. I have it all primed and everything. It's also shelved at the moment, so it's all ready for paint and I just have to actually go ahead and paint it. The character figures as well. The character figures I'm planning on using for like different stuff, not keeping it as a set. But anyway, yes, moving on. Sad. There's a lot of works in progress. This one too is another one that I have as a work in progress. I already started doing some custom modification on this Miku. It's the Frame Arms Girl Miku that came with the Tamotu kit there. I started doing some modification on that. Had to set that aside as well, unfortunately. So here's a lot of Kotobukiya stuff here on this page. The Arcanadia Velreta kit right there, another really cool one. Frame Arms kit here, Mega Man, and some statue figures. It's a whole bunch of cool stuff. Gonna have a whole section here of cars, vehicles, motorcycles, some character resin figures there from Hasegawa as well, and then a whole bunch of more vehicle models. Like I said, like military models, traditional models here, airplanes, tanks, military weaponry tools here as well. So there's some cool new tools on the way. Train model kits, more military model kits. This is Girls und Panzer. Let's see what else we have here. We're getting close to the end, but there's always something really interesting hiding right at the very end. So we'll see what it's gonna ultimately be. I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm looking through this. I always like to save it for on video, seeing everything for the first time. Here's a cool expression there, I guess inspired by a tissue box, and the color of his shirt, and the color of this car. So going for the green stripe pattern theme there for that one. So some nice features of some car modeling here. For those of you guys who are into that, I know there's at least one of you out there watching who is. But other than that, this one's pretty cool there as well. Cool, very cute little plane model kit there. And we got another one here with some paint cards there. And all right, we've got a little bit more about the Beautiful Girls Garage Kit MOOC. Again, we already took a look at that. There was already another advertisement for that book earlier on. A advertisement here for a tool, like a tool guide book. That one looks kind of interesting. I don't know if I really have seen that one before. Wonder if there would be very much interesting in there. I'm sure probably. All right, we got a couple pages left. Let's see what we got here. We got MG Mate, that's Model Graphix Mate. I believe these are submitted like drawings, illustrations, drawing work that are submitted and like sent in, and these ones were selected for being featured in the magazine. Here we've also got a Puramen over here, a little short comic. And yeah, I guess no like hidden surprises, I guess. Oh, do we have a couple pages left? I won't speak too soon. Although I will say that this tank model does look very nice over here. That armor kit, that is, well, I thought it was maybe Tamiya, but it's Mono, not a model company that I'm really familiar with. But here's a little feature here about this. So we got some more photos and text there with that. Some more military character figures. Those ones I believe probably are Tamiya, I would imagine. Ship modeling here as well. And let's see, we got some like Kankole style ship girls over here. And let's see, Model Kasken, some tools there from Model Kasken. And also t-shirts. Looks like a cool t-shirt there. Some more just kind of advertisements here. An advertisement for the Gallery of Nose Queen art book. So these are like books. I don't have any of them. Maybe I'll get one at some point in the future, but they're like basically modeling cosplay books styled after like the nose art that you would see like on aircraft and stuff. So, I mean, I've seen photos like this of the book series. I know there's a few of those books. This one right here on the front, I believe that would be Umi Shinonome right there. I think so. I know she's been in a couple of them, at least one, I want to say. All right, so some more advertisements here at the back, and that's about it. All right, so didn't really end with a bang, but there was a lot of really cool stuff in there, especially if you're a 30 Minutes Missions fan. That said, we've taken a look at some other different books that were strictly dedicated to 30 Minutes Missions that I feel like were a lot better. So there was some cool stuff in here, but if you're wanting like some like book publication, something to admire some different custom builds and just kind of a look back at some of the 30 Minutes Missions releases, there's some other MOOCs that I think it would be better off taking a look at. Let me know in the comment section, what did you guys like from this issue? There was some cool stuff in there. I gotta say, probably my favorite. The 30 Minutes Sisters stuff was cool. Barzem's probably my favorite, not just because it's Gunpla, but it's just a really, really cool build. But there was a lot of really interesting stuff in here. I do like the feature on the Sosai Shoujo Teien model in here as well. It's also really nicely done. So there's definitely some nice stuff in there. Let me know what your thoughts were down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, if you want to check out some of the models, tools, paints, and supplies for yourself, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of cool stuff there for you guys. And thank you so much for all of your support, liking the video, commenting, making sure that you're subscribed. All helps out a lot. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, hope you guys all have a great day. See y'all later. Bye-bye.